On a month-end Saturday, I spent a night at the Mitchell's Plain Hospital Emergency Center just to see and document what the doctors go through there. And during my night, in the course of the evening, I tracked one or two patients, and I wanted to introduce one of them to you now. Let's call him Themba. It's not his real name. He was brought in cold and complaining of being in pain, and they took his blanket off that he was brought in with, and they realized and they discovered that his clothes were soaking wet, and he was freezing cold because it was a cold night in Cape Town. They needed to cut his clothes off of him to actually find out what was wrong, and the doctors could then deduce from his defensive wounds that he had been part of a panga attack and was badly cut up. They also realized on further inspection that he had other wounds around his body, and he needed to have a hole put in the side of his chest into his lung. I think it was to ease his breathing. I'm not too sure. But we found out that Themba was only 17 years old, and we don't know what the circumstances of the attack were. And we all know that Mitchell's Plain is notorious for violent crime in this country. By the time I left, he had been stitched up, and they had been stitching him up. And I just couldn't stop thinking about this young 17-year-old boy and the painful night that he had just endured.